Welcome to our first ever Waterloo Warriors incoming student athlete webinar. I know that things are looking a little bit different this year, so we're excited to meet with you virtually and chat with you about the team. So thank you again for joining us, whether you're watching this webinar live or turning in later on the recording. We're excited to have you join us. Today, we're basically going to go over a few important topics that should answer your questions about what it's like to be a student athlete at the University of Waterloo. Please note that this presentation and academic information is made for future undergraduate students. If you're interested in graduate studies, please reach out to Coach Jackie for more details. So we are going to go over a few topics today, just to basically go over what it's like to go to Waterloo. So my name is Sydney and I will be your host for this evening. I am the varsity swim team manager and I am a fifth year student in the recreation and sports business program. So our topics for today are going to be presented by different members of our team and our support staff and coaching staff to give you a chance to get to know some of the faces that you'll be seeing around the pool next year. So our topics for today, basically just some easy housekeeping rules. We're going to go over academics at Waterloo, swimming at Waterloo, student athlete support, and what it is like to compete at a university level. As previously mentioned, this is a recorded event. So we recommend that you keep your cameras off for the duration of this program. We also ask if you can keep yourself muted for the duration of the webinar as well. And if you have any questions, please feel free to pop those in the chat. We will have a Q&A section at the end, and all of your questions will be addressed at that point. So, University of Waterloo and the academics. So the University of Waterloo is consistently ranked as one of the top universities in Canada by Maclean's and often falls under the top 100 universities globally as well. For 2021, we have been ranked as Canada's second most innovative university. We are the third best overall university in Canada, and we are fourth in Canada for the highest quality of education. As one of Canada's most advanced and innovative universities, you can be assured that you will have access to some of the best teachers, the most cutting edge technology, and a wide range of opportunities to be a part of amazing projects. I'm going to hand it over to my teammate, Emmy, who's going to talk a little bit more about academics.
Hello, like Sydney said, my name's Emmy. I'm one of the women's team captains. I'm in my fifth year of math and business, and next semester is my last term along with Sydney. So I'm just going to quickly go over the different faculties that we have at Waterloo. So as you can see on the screen, we've got the Applied Health Sciences faculty, the Arts faculty, we have Math, Science, Engineering, Environment. So there's a lot of different options when it comes to education at Waterloo. And as you can see on the right, our team is made of a lot of different faculties, primarily engineering, math, and science. But as an undergrad, especially in your first year, you're guaranteed to know someone on the team who's either taken the course you may be struggling with or has some information about questions that you'll probably have about starting first year, things like that. And Ev is going to be reading it.
Hi, so my name's Ev. I'm in my 2A term of nanotechnology engineering. So I'm going to talk a little bit about engineering here at Waterloo. So not only is the University of Waterloo Canada's largest engineering school, but it's also consistently been ranked the school in Canada and #1 in Canada for experiential learning. And it's also ranked among the top 50 engineering schools in the world. So our reputation for excellence is built on the foundation of co-op education and a bold history of innovation. So the Faculty of Engineering is made up of the following departments: the School of Architecture, Entrepreneurship and Business, Chemical Engineering, Civil and Environmental Engineering, Electrical and Computer Engineering, Management Sciences, Mechanical and Mechatronics Engineering, and Systems Design Engineering. So a little bit about the hands-on experiences that I've personally had so far in Nano. So over the summer, I had the opportunity to work for a company called C2MI for my co-op. I worked in a microelectronics field and learned a lot of new skills related directly to my program. And as for projects that we did in class, in first year, we were separated into small groups and had the opportunity to design a real scanning tunneling microscope. And we were evaluated on our creativity and ability to actually make it function. So related to like actual design projects for all engineering students in fourth year, you also get to do a design project where you basically gather everything you've learned in class and on co-op terms and get to design something that you're really interested in and that reflects your studies. And some products and companies have actually been created thanks to students' design projects, which is pretty cool. So the university also helps its students learn even more through our co-op program, where you alternate between work and school terms and get to graduate with a total of 2 years of work experience. So the co-op program is actually available not only for engineering programs, so make sure to check it out and see if the co-op program is available for the program you're interested in. So now I'm gonna pass it on to Sarah.
Sarah, you're just muted.
Sorry. Okay, so hi everyone, I'm Sarah. I'm in my 2A term of honors biology, which I actually have just recently transferred into after doing 1 year of kinesiology. So I'm also in my second year of eligibility for swimming, and I'm going to be returning to Waterloo to swim in the winter term. So the Faculty of Science, from understanding the universe to protecting our water resources to improving the health of Canadians to educating the next generation, Waterloo Science is shaping the future through discovery. So our departments include biology, environmental and earth science, chemistry, physics and astronomy, School of Optometry, and School of Pharmacy. And within these departments, there are further specializations that you can do. For example, in my third year, I'm looking to specialize in molecular genetics or in microbiology. And if you'd like to have some more information about the Faculty of Science and information about the great co-op program that Waterloo has that Ev mentioned, you can go onto the Faculty of Science website, which will give you all the information about whether your program is eligible to be in co-op. So next I'm going to pass this over to Laura, who will talk about the Faculty of Mathematics.
Hi everyone, I'm Laura and I'm in my fourth year of math here at Waterloo. Now in the Faculty of Math, what we do is connect theoretical advances and innovative math to develop novel solutions to pressing problems. The Faculty of Math connects 3 areas of study: math, statistics, and computer science. And in order to do that, we have the following 5 departments: combinatorics and optimization, applied mathematics, statistics and actuarial science, pure math, and computer science. Within these departments, there are 14 different undergrad programs to choose from. For example, I'm doing a combinatorics and optimization major, a statistics major, and a pure math minor, which is a mix of 3 different programs out of those 14. These programs are also really high quality. In 2021, Waterloo was the #1 ranked university in Canada for computer science and math, and was in the top 40 in the world for these programs as well. Now, in terms of balancing math and swimming, it definitely takes some effort and time management skills. In a typical first-year math course, you might have assignments due every week or 2, plus a midterm and a final. Multiply that by 3 or 4 math courses plus your electives, and it's definitely going to be a step up from high school. But the good news is everyone is in it together. Math is one of the biggest programs in Waterloo, so you'll have lots of classmates to talk about course material with and figure things out. And if you're living in residence, you'll also have lots of upper year students and dons to help you out as well. Plus, there's lots of academic support available. Most profs will have office hours where you can drop in if you have questions. if you have any, and many courses have TAs as well, especially first-year courses, so they would have office hours as well. Plus, through the swim team, you'll get lots of academic support too, which you'll hear about a little later. But for now, that's it on math, and I will pass it on to Katie, who's going to talk to you about AHS.
Hi guys, my name is Katie. I'm a third year in recreation and sports business, and I'm also one of the social media coordinators with Sarah Montez for the Waterloo Swim Team. So thanks for following us and signing up to register today. So the Faculty of Applied Health Science is actually going through a faculty change at the moment. So if you're looking at on OAC to apply, you'll actually have to look it up probably under the name of Faculty of Health. So that's what will be called as of next year. Applied Health Science is a leader in the development of strategies that prevent disease and injury, protect and promote healthy living, optimize physical ability, and improve well-being across the world. So we're actually made up of multiple departments within this faculty, such as kinesiology, health studies, public health, rec, and leisure. And then within those, there's actually areas of specialization. So for example, the kinesiology program allows you to specialize in medical physiology, rehab sciences, human nutrition, ergonomics, and injury prevention. And then rec and leisure, you can be in tourism, therapeutic recreation, sports business. So there's lots of options within those programs. The graduation success rate for the Faculty of Applied Health Science is quite high, where 49% of students continue to a graduate or professional program and 46% move right into their career right after they're done. And something I personally love about the Applied Health Science faculty is the super tight-knit community. You end up having classes with a lot of the same people, and you really do become friends with people in your program. And the amazing support from the staff and just the faculty in general from the academic advisors is wonderful. Sports business in my cohort, there's about 94 of us in my year. So you truly do get to know everyone. And if you really find that a sense of community is important to you, AHS might be a great fit. I'm going to pass it off to Emmy.
So like I said, I'm in the math faculty, or my degree is in the math faculty, but because of the business aspect of my degree, I've taken a lot of courses in the arts department. So I'm just going to give a quick overview of some of the programs and things you can do with it. So the arts faculty is defined by a dynamic community of students, faculties, and staff working in and across the humanities, social sciences, and creative arts. Our ideas and actions are propelled by curiosity, creativity, and a deep commitment to contribute to a better world. So there's a lot of different options when it comes to the arts faculty. You can be in a program that has honors arts and business, global business and digital arts, social development studies, accounting and financial management, as well as computing and financial management. A couple of the programs in the arts faculty work hand in hand with a couple of the other different faculties. Like my program goes in math and in the arts department. But the arts department is very wide. You can take courses in accounting, fine arts, gender studies, social justice, global business. Different language studies are also available. So there's a lot of different options, and it gives you the chance to not only specialize, but you can add on different majors, minors, or even just take a course that you didn't really know you were interested in, but now that you're in university, you have the option to explore. So what I've noticed with a lot of the arts courses is that you really have to pay attention to pre-reading and getting prepared before you go to class. A lot of the courses are very intense in pre-reading, so that you need to know what you've read before you show up so that you actually understand what's going on in the lecture. So there's a lot of pre-preparation involved in these classes, but a lot of really great professors and a lot of people that are very passionate about what they do. So it's definitely a great area to be in. And I will pass it on to Katie again. She's going to talk about the environment faculty.
Thanks, Emmy. So our vision in the environmental faculty is to use our unique position as leading teaching and research institute for the environment to create sustainable solutions needed to address the complex challenges facing our world. So the Faculty of Environment at Waterloo is ranked in the top 5 for development studies, where the university itself is ranked top 16 in the world for their climate action, which is awesome. The Faculty of Environment is made up of these following departments, which is Geography and Environmental Management, Knowledge and Integration, Environment, Enterprise and Development, Environment, Resources and Sustainability, and the School of Planning. So the faculty offers 8 different programs ranging from geography and aviation to international development. And the University of Waterloo also offers Canada's only undergraduate environment and business program combined, which is pretty awesome. I'm going to pass it off to Sydney.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Katie. So that concludes our academic portion for the evening. Thank you so much to my teammates for sharing their experiences from an academic perspective. If you would like to find out more about a specific program or faculty, please feel free to check out their website. It would be uwaterloo.ca/the faculty name. If you're watching this webinar at a later date, feel free to rewind and check back to the slides. We have included all of the website links at the bottom of the slides. So now on to the swimming portion of the webinar, Swimming at Waterloo. So first we are going to touch on our amazing staff and leaders for the team. So the Waterloo Warriors Swim Team has an amazing pool of staff and team leaders to help our swimmers succeed, no pun intended there. So just to quickly make up our staff and leaders team, we have our head coach, Jacqueline Beckford Henriquez, who's joining us tonight, our assistant coach, Connor Watson, our strength and conditioning coach, Victoria Mauricio. We have physical therapy students that will be with us every term. We have Larissa Martin, Emily Tam, Catherine Taylor, and Melissa Lai, who is joining us this evening as well. Team manager is myself, Sydney Dysart, and then we have our women's team captains, Emmy Kutrin and Laura Bumbolis, who you've heard from already, and our two men's captains, Tristan Curry and Lucas Wormald. So just to touch a little bit on our amazing coaching staff. So we are so lucky to have Jackie with us. So Jackie was actually voted the OUA Men's Coach of the Year in 2019, which was really exciting. She was the Jamaican national team coach from 1992 to 2016. She's been the head coach at 3 Olympic Games and World Championships, and her swimmers have gone on to medal at OUA Championships, U Sports Championships, and have finaled at Canadian Senior Nationals. Our assistant coach, Connor Watson, is currently a full-time coach at Club Warriors, which is the leading age group club here in Waterloo. He was also the assistant coach for the Laurentian Voyageurs Swim Team for 5 years. For those of you who are joining us from outside of Canada or Ontario, Laurentian is another university in the OUA with a very good swim program. And Connor also coaches local youth volleyball on the side. So now we are going to touch a little bit on training at a varsity level. So training at a varsity level might be a little bit different than what you're used to in an age group setting. We use a combination of pool, dryland, and weight training to help our swimmers develop their skills. In the pool, we specialize depending on your strengths. That is stroke or distance specific. That'll depend on the workout. And we will split up into different groups for those more focused workouts. Overall, though, we do train majority doing the same workouts. One thing to remember at university level swimming is that we are training with a common goal in mind, and our goal is to see the team succeed as a whole. So I'm just going to quickly go over our training facilities. So at the university, we are fortunate enough to have multiple spaces in which we are able to train. The facility you will probably become the most familiar with is the PAC pool. Our pool is a 6-lane, 25-yard pool that can be converted into a 4-lane, 25-meter pool as well. We just got new blocks a couple years ago, so that's really exciting. So those actually have the adjustable wedge, which is really cool. You don't find those too often now. We also occasionally train at the Wilfrid Laurier pool, which is when we do long course training. It's just down the street. And the same building as the pool is our PAC Warrior Zone. This space is where we commonly have dry land and our weight training sessions in the morning. And as you are also expected to complete some of the weight training on your own, if you prefer, you can also train at the Columbia Icefield Gym at the bottom there, which is just at the north end of campus. So now we are going to pass it on back to Emmy, who is going to talk a little bit about expectations outside of the pool.
So like Sydney said, I'll be just going over some of the other things that come with being on a varsity team, because it's more than just about showing up to practice and races. So a good example of some kind of expectations that you might get to do while you're on the team is recruiting for future athletes. So not everyone on our team is here this evening, but a lot of us volunteered to talk about our program, to help through different other slides just to help you guys be more informed so that when you come in, you know what to expect. We also have a team of, I think, 3 or 4 people who work on fundraising throughout the year. So they come up with different initiatives and different ways to get involved. Currently, they're working on doing a flip give. I'm not sure if it's called a campaign, but so when you buy gift cards online, you can raise money for our team. So that's just one kind of example that the fundraising team works on. Like Katie and Sarah said, they are part of the social media team. So they're involved with the Instagram and the Facebook and coordinating events like this. So lots of different things that you can get involved with if you're interested. One of our goals for the team in the upcoming years is to get more involved in the community. So due to COVID, things couldn't exactly happen the way we wanted to this year, but hopefully in the coming years, there'll be some more initiatives put in place so that our team is seen out in the community, whether it's just within the athletics department, there are a lot of volunteer opportunities there, or within the community. Our team also has regular team meetings, which we'll be expected to attend. As you can see on the slide, they're often pretty early, and it's usually difficult to get out of bed to go sit in a room and talk about swimming, but we're always expected to be there because we're all in it together. And there's also going to be lots of different team events. So whether it's an in-person recruiting event or just a social, there's lots of different ways that you can be involved with the team. And there's lots of different ways that we stick together outside of the pool, which is great. And back to Katie again.
Awesome. Thanks, Emmy. So we're going to talk a little bit about the student athlete support that is offered at the school, which I'm biased, but we definitely have quite a bit that's offered. And this is also a connection as you become an upper year on the team, you're able to kind of give back and be a part of some of these supports. So we have a wellness advisor and a coordinator within athletics. So in 2019, we added a full-time staff member whose name is Marshall Bingaman, and he actually used to work with the football team as one of the coaches a while back. So now he's one of our wellness advisors. Tutoring program that we have, it's a very detailed tutoring program where they're coordinated and it's actually paid through the athletic department. So if a student athlete actually ever needs a tutor, it is covered. That's why we heavily encourage it, that don't wait later into the term, get the tutor earlier on and get those supports. So you're able to successfully complete those courses. We have a writing center, which we have a partnership with the writing center, which basically means that in any of your courses, if you need a paper to be looked over, or you need advice and tips and tricks on how to maybe get a higher mark in certain projects that have a writing component, they're there to support you. Personally, my favorite, the peer mentorship program titled Waterloo Warriors. Every single first-year student athlete that attends the University of Waterloo is paired up with a upper year peer mentor and a small group of 8 to 10 people. And then from there, they get constant ongoing support of conversations and being invited to events and get people in their program, which it's usually sorted by the same major that you're in. So you get to know other athletes on other teams, not just on the swim team. I've now been a Rise Up leader for 2 years. It's an awesome program, and I find that by having someone else from a different team help you and have that guidance along with the captains, along with the Don, if you decide to live on residence, is you really feel supported at all times as a student athlete, which I think is the most important thing to have. And then we also have sports psychologists that are offered with the school and the department. We have grade reports. So your term GPA reports are generated each term and are sent to the coaches. Coach Jackie is really great with keeping on top of us to make sure that we're doing our schoolwork and making sure that we're still eligible, because unfortunately, you got to make sure you're eligible and passing your courses so that you can swim and compete on the team. Any at-risk students are flagged and supported. And like we talked about earlier, you either get tutoring support, Coach Jackie will help create a plan and we'll work through that then together. Student athlete orientation as well at the beginning of the year. You have, it's about a 2-3 hour meeting that every student athlete gets access to, where they're then told about all the resources and who the Rise Up mentor is, and just really welcome them to the school, because it truly is amazing to be a student athlete at the University of Waterloo. I'm going to pass it off to Sarah to speak about competing at the next level.
Sorry, I think we're going to actually have Melissa, our team trainer, just touch on a couple of points before we pass it on to Sarah.
Hi, I'm Melissa, and I'm a fourth-year kinesiology co-op student. I've had the pleasure of working with the swim team as their student trainer for a few terms now. At Waterloo, each varsity team is assigned their own team of student trainers. We either have our standard first aid or first responder certification. Majority of us have completed a sports injury management lab, and upper year student trainers may have completed musculoskeletal injury-related courses as well. We also receive training from the university's athletic therapists who have their clinic at SIF. You will see student trainers at your swim practices and meets. So if you ever get hurt or you suspect that you have an injury, you can go up to any one of the student trainers and they will help you take a look at it. We do injury assessments and provide you with the necessary treatment or instructions to care for your injury. If it's something more serious, we will have you get it checked out with the athletic therapist at SIF. Another thing we do is provide massages. So typically after your practice, you can come onto the side of the deck and we'll give you a 5-minute massage on a massage table. Massages are also given at meets, typically after you're done all your races. Regular massage supports the relaxation and recovery process after workouts, helping to prevent injuries. Massage can help shorten recovery time as well as relieve muscle tension and pain. It's considered a remedy for common issues like delayed onset muscle soreness. So that is why we do what we do. Lastly, I just want to say that your student trainers and athletic therapy team are here to help as much as we can so that you guys can hopefully be in the best condition to participate in your sport. And now I'm going to hand things over to Sarah.
Okay, hi everybody again. So I'll talk about competing at a university level. So swimming at university is going to be a little bit different than what you might be used to with club swimming. The Warriors compete within the OUA conference, which means that during our regular season, we compete against other universities within Ontario. When we compete, we will be scoring as a team, meaning that how you swim has an impact on your teammates, which is very different from club swimming when how you swim only really affects you individually. So depending on the meet, the top 8 or 16 swimmers in the event are eligible to score points from their team. Under U Sports rules, you have 5 years of eligibility, which normally at the University of Waterloo you will use, as a majority of the programs do take 5 years to complete. Through our competition, though our competition season runs from September to March, you are expected to train all year, as we still aim to send swimmers to meets like trials and summer nationals, which don't fall within the regular university season. And a little add-on to that, if you do choose to participate in the co-op program and you are located outside of Waterloo, a lot of swimmers will try to connect with a university within the town that they are completing their co-op in and train with that university. So for example, Ellie, who's coming up to talk about training camp, competed at MAC, or she swam at MAC for one of her terms while she was away on co-op. Okay, so I'm gonna pass it along now.
Perfect. So like Sarah said, we compete in the OUA. So one of the biggest meets for most of the people on the team, the last meet of the season, is the OUA competition. So this one occurs in February, usually the second weekend, starts on a Thursday, ends on the Saturday. And this is the meet where all the teams in the OUA come together and race and are scored points and things like that. So our Waterloo swimming has evolved a lot in the last couple of years, and it just seems like we keep getting better. So I'm just going to go over some of the highlights from the last couple of years. So in 2020, men got 3rd, women's got 6th. We had 3 OUA All-Stars, 6 silver medals, and 7 bronze medals. 2019, the men's team got 2nd, women's team got 4th place. We had Lucas Hormel get Men's Rookie of the Year. We had Individual Medley of Excellence Award, Men's Team Coach of the Year, 3 gold medals, 3 silver medals, and 6 bronze. And then in 2018, we had the men team get 5th, the women team get 6th. Graduating Athlete Award, 2 silver medals, and 2 bronze medals. So it's definitely a great place to score points and get Waterloo's name out there, because a lot of times we aren't known for swimming when in fact we do have one of the better programs in Ontario, especially coming up on the men's side. And the OUA experience is definitely different from club swimming, kind of like Sarah said. It's a little bit different when you're swimming for your team and everything you do impacts your team. So when you all come together and you get those points and you rise up in the rankings, it's definitely a good feeling. I remember in my first year, it was a very different experience. I almost felt confused on the first couple days because I'd never had so many people cheering for me. And even if I didn't have a good race, there were still all along the side cheering me on, which is a really great feeling. So the OUA swim meet is definitely a highlight of the year for a lot of swimmers. And the one meet after that is U Sports, which Christina will talk about next.
Thanks, Emmy. Hi, everyone. I'm Christina. I'm in my 3rd year of engineering, and I'm just going to talk a bit about U Sports, which is the last sanctioned meet of the varsity season. So it's always held over Reading Week in mid-February, 2 weeks after OUAs. And you can kind of look at this meet as varsity nationals. Universities from across Canada will be sending their swimmers. And unlike the other meets in the varsity season, there are time standards you must meet in order to qualify for U Sports. Now, the time standards do vary slightly from year to year, depending on how fast the meet is in previous years. But on the women's side, it tends to hover around the senior nationals cut. And as you can see on the slide here, the Warriors have had more and more swimmers qualify every year, and we definitely look forward to continuing to grow that number in the future as well. One thing I really like about U Sports is, well, first of all, it's great exposure to some really fast swimming, but also that there's a bit of a different team dynamic at U Sports compared to OUAs. OUAs is very high energy for basically 3 days straight, which is great in a different way. But at U Sports, since you're in a slightly smaller group that's a lot more contained, you're actually able to keep up with all your teammates' races while at the same time have more time for yourself and to focus on your own racing. And a little bonus that comes with qualifying for U Sports also is that when we travel, we usually have a spare day where we get to explore the city we're in. So in my first year, we were in Vancouver and we got to take a walk around Stanley Park. And this past year, we were able to walk along the harbor in Victoria and tour the downtown area as well. So now that we've kind of touched on a couple of the championship meets at the end of university season, I'm going to pass it back to Sid, and she's kind of going to give you an overview of the meet schedule as the season as a whole.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Christina. So as mentioned, those are the 2 championship meets, the big ones we have. So this is a sample meet schedule from last year. Obviously, things look a little bit different now in COVID times, but this is kind of a rough mock-up. So basically, all of the red blocks you see are our competition days. So a few in September, a few in October, and then things amp up in November. So November is when we would be hosting or going to divisionals, which is our biggest meet of the fall term. And then there's 2 big red sections in February. The top one is OUAs and the bottom one is U Sports. So that being said, racing at university and the sessions are a lot different than they are in age group swimming. They're a lot quicker. You're not standing on the deck for 4 hours at a time waiting for people. And also all of the meets except for OUAs and U Sports are a timed final. So you go, you swim, and then that's that. You're not required to go back in the evening. Though some of our home meets do take place in the evening or after classes to accommodate for students to join. And then the last section you're also going to see on this map are the green blocks. So the green blocks are blocking out the days that we would be away at training camp. So I'm going to pass it on to Ellie, who's going to talk a little bit about the training camp experience at university.
Hi, everyone. So my name is Ellie, and I'm in my 3B term of biochemistry with co-op. Every year, the Waterloo Swim Team travels over the holidays for our annual training camp. And during this time, we continue to train, focusing mainly on long course swimming, as well as some weights and dryland sessions. Even though we're focused on training, there are a few beach days as well as some fun activities planned. During this time, we also try to do some work within the community while we are there for our visits. So at Jamaica, we helped tutor some young students, and it's always a really fun time and a great bonding experience. So I think Jackie's coming up next with a Q&A.
Oh, Jackie, I believe you're muted.
I am muted. Thank you to all of the team for putting this together. Thank you to everyone who has joined us today. And for those who weren't able to join us today, you know, it's been a difficult year, but when I sit here, I am so proud of our team and our ladies, what they have put together today. And, you know, it's great. I don't have to talk so much, which I'm enjoying. But before we start with any questions, there's a couple of things. If you are applying to the University of Waterloo, which I'm assuming everybody who's visiting with us here today is going to be doing, you need to get in touch with me. I believe my email, my email is on the University of Waterloo website. If not, it's jbeckford@uwaterloo.ca, so that I put you on my list of swimmers who I am interested in getting. Also, when you apply, there's a form called an additional information form, which is a requirement for engineering and some other faculties, but it's not a requirement for all faculties, but it is a requirement for people who are going to be student athletes. So if you need information about where to find that form, just send me an email and I'll send you a link for that. So I think at this point, you know, everything else pretty much has been covered. Sid, do we have any questions?
No, there aren't any questions in the chat. If you have anything you'd like to ask Jackie or any of the presenters, please take a moment to type those in the chat function here. If not, we do have a couple of frequently asked questions that we can go over, but we'll give you guys a minute here to type anything if you have questions. If not, we'll go over those other questions we have.
Also, I'll add something here, Sid. I think there's a couple of people on the call who haven't got in touch with me. We do have time standards that we use to help decide who we're going to select. And because our team, as Emmy said earlier, has improved over the years, those time standards have got faster. But this year, I am accepting times from training sessions or from virtual swim meets. So, you know, don't sit down and say, oh, I can't send Jackie my times because they're not official times. You know, based on the circumstances, I will accept your times.
So Jackie, we do have a question from Mary, who is joining us tonight. So she is asking, how many first-year swimmers are typically on the team?
Wow. That's varied a bit. We have 4 first-year women this year. Is that right? Yep. We had 3 last year. So I would say, but then in the men, we have 8 this year. It varies. Some years we've had 5 and 6. So Mary, it really depends on how many people have made the time standard as a starting point.
So I guess another question that we get asked quite frequently would be, how many hours of practice are there a week?
Okay, at the moment we have 2 groups because of COVID and, you know, everybody can't swim together. One group has 8 sessions a week and the other group has 6 sessions a week. Their sessions are 1 hour and 45. And I will say that this year, we probably have the best training situation in all of Ontario. We have an extremely supportive athletic department, and we have been in the water from September, and knock wood, we have 2 more weeks to go till December the 18th, and we have run full practices. Our dry land has been a little bit more up and down because of numbers allowed in the gym and things like that. So right now we're on Zoom dry land twice a week. But on average, I would say that you have an offering of 6 to 8 sessions a week, depending on the group you're in.
Perfect. So another question is, how many spots are available on the team?
Okay. That's going to be difficult to do. This year I was going to take 18 women and I think 22 men. And it's all very competitive, you know, because you are, the third, fourth years are also competing for spots on the team. And because of COVID, and several of our swimmers electing to stay at home, and many of them could stay at home and train at home, we have done no cuts this year. So we haven't had enough, I shouldn't say that. We took in everybody who had our qualifying times. And so next year, we have established a new set of qualifying times, and then we'll have to decide how many, you know, based on what the situation is re-COVID.
Perfect. So I guess the last question we'll go over, what can incoming swimmers do to put them in a good position to help them make the team?
Stay in touch with me. Keep your training going. But I would say staying in touch, sending me your times so that we establish a relationship, so I know what you're doing. Even if they aren't your best times, I can start to track you.
Okay, beautiful. Thanks for answering those, Jackie. Is there anything else that you want to touch on before we wrap up for the evening?
Jackie,
Nope.
Jackie, can I make a comment on emails?
Sorry, Josh?
Can I make a comment on emails?
I didn't hear you, Josh. You weren't clear.
Can I make a comment on emails?
Yes.
If Jackie doesn't answer you the first time, email her again. She sometimes likes to miss emails.
Yes, you're quite right. And what happened? And emailed me. I had a situation today where somebody sent me a messenger message, and I realized that I read it and hadn't done anything about it. So yeah, Josh is quite right. Email me again.
Perfect. Awesome. Well, thank you so much to everyone who is joining us this evening or who is watching this in the future. So like Jackie said, please make sure to stay connected with us and feel free to reach out with any questions that you might have. This video, as mentioned previously, is going to be recorded and will be shared on our YouTube page in case you missed anything or you want to go back and rewatch it. And we really look forward to having you join our Warrior family. So yeah, feel free to connect with us. We are on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. You can email us and, stay up to date on the University Athletics website. We have lots of articles posted on things that we're getting up to. Might be COVID times, but we're still racing and we're still having fun. So thank you again for all of us who joined us this evening.